Bonjour. So today we are going to talk about some very basic things in French that you may not know or you may not have realized. Very simple. So, in English, we say I am thirsty. But in French, we say I have thirst. J'ai soif. In English, we say I am hungry. In French, we say I have hunger. J'ai faim. In English, we say I am sleepy. In French, we say I have sleepiness. J'ai sommeil. One exception here, in English, we say I am tired. And in French, we also say I am tired. Je suis fatigué. Today we're going to talk about definite articles. In English, there is only one definite article, and that is the. In French, we have four definite articles, and all of them means the same thing in English. They mean the. The first one is le. Le means the, but it is for masculine words. It is before the words that are masculine. The second the is la. La is for feminine words. The third form of the is les. Les is for all the words that are masculine or feminine, but they have to be plural. That's the plural form. And the fourth form is L apostrophe. We use L apostrophe when the word that follows begins with a vowel. It does not matter if it's a feminine word or if it's a masculine word. Here, what only matters is that the word that follows the definite article is a word that begins with a vowel. We also use L apostrophe when the word begins with an H. Let's take some examples. I want to say the city in French. The first thing I have to know is if the word city in French is a feminine word or if it's a masculine word. Now, I can tell you that city in French is a feminine word. So, we're going to say la ville. Let's take another example. I want to say the ocean in French. Here, it does not matter if it's feminine or masculine because the word ocean in French begins with a vowel. So I'm going to use L apostrophe and say l'océan. Some. How do we say some in French? Some books, some friends, etc. The word we use is des. So if I'm going to say some books, I will say des livres. If I'm going to say some friends, I will say des amis. It does not matter if the word we're using is a feminine word or a masculine word. It doesn't matter. What matters here is that we're talking about the plural version of those words. Let's take an example. I'm going to say she has some books that she wants to give you. Here I said some books. So I'm going to use des and I'm going to say elle a des livres qu'elle veut te donner. Elle a des livres qu'elle veut te donner. If you still have questions, leave them in the comment section. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to share the video. Well, I hope today's class is going to be very useful to you, and I hope you have learned something. If you have learned one thing, please consider giving me a thumbs up. And if you have learned two things by now, consider subscribing because you are going to continue to learn more. If you want to see more of me, I am on Instagram and I am on TikTok. I post there 3 times a week. But if you want to have long form content
where things are explained in details, this is the place. Here, you and I can take the time to understand concepts that can be hard to understand usually. So go ahead and subscribe.
In English, we say a building and we say an apple. In French, we can also do the same. The only thing that we need to know in French to get this correctly is the word feminine or is the word masculine? That's what we need to know. So let's take an example. If I say a house, the word house in French is feminine. So I'm going to say une maison. But if I say an apartment, then I have to wonder, apartment, is it a feminine word or is it a masculine word? In French, apartment is a masculine word. So I will say un appartement. Un appartement. There are words that have both a feminine and a masculine version. Example, the word architect, an architect. An architect can be a female architect, une architecte, or a male architect, un architecte. The point here is that when you are learning French vocabulary, don't just learn the word. Also learn if the word is a feminine word or if the word is a masculine word. Learn if the word can switch between feminine and masculine, if it has both versions. So if you learn how to say a car in French, don't just learn the word car. Learn if it is une voiture ou un voiture. Which one is it? Is car a feminine word or is car a masculine word? That will help you tremendously. The word you see on the screen is où. One more time, où. And it means where. Like when I say, where are you going? Or where's my book? That word is où. Now, it's important to know that in French, there are two où. There's one with an accent. That's the one we have on the screen today. And then there's one without an accent. But to say where, we have to use the one with an accent. It's important when you're writing. Now, another thing that's important is to notice that the accent is above the U. It is not above the O. The last thing that's important to notice is the direction of the accent, because we have several accents in French and we actually have two that are kind of similar. Note the direction of the accent. Now, the accent on the screen that is in green, that is the correct one. And the one that is in red is not the correct one. So it's important to write the right accent and to put it above the U, not above the O. And it's also important to just have the accent if we're going to say where. Today we're going to learn personal pronouns in French. The personal pronouns that we're going to learn today are I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they. Now, let's learn the French version. There are more personal pronouns in French than there are in English. Our personal pronouns are je, tu, il, elle, on, nous, vous, il, elle. We do not have it as a personal pronoun in French. Yes, it is a word that we also have in French, but it is not part of the list of personal pronouns in French. What we have instead is on. In French, there are two ways of saying oui. The first one is on, and the second one is nous. On is the singular version of oui. Nous is the plural version of oui. On is the version that is most often used in French. They have two versions. There is the feminine version, elle, and there is the masculine version, il. Now, you will notice that we use the same words for he, she, and they. In French, they are the same two words. What's the difference? The difference is that for they, we add an S at the end of il, and we add an S at the end of elle to show that these are the plural version. But remember that those consonants at the end, we do not pronounce them. It's il, elle, and it sounds exactly the same as their singular version, il, elle. How do we know the difference when we speak French? How do we know that we're talking about il, elle singular and not il, elle plural? We know the difference because of the verb. Now, just like English has evolved over the years, the same thing has happened to French. French has also evolved over the years. As a French teacher, my job is to teach you correct French. And that's because it's the one that's going to be the most appropriate in any country, in any French-speaking country, in any situation, and no matter who you're talking to. So I want to teach you the correct French, and I want you to use correct French. But I also want you to know French slang. I don't really encourage foreigners to use French slang. Using French slang will definitely make you sound like you understand modern French and you know how to speak modern French. But be very cautious because slang, like in any language, is very cultural. And a foreigner may not understand that in this particular situation, that word, we might not want to use it in this situation or when referring or speaking to certain kind of people. As a foreigner, it's very easy to find, it can be easy to find yourself in a situation where you have used the wrong word, and then you are in a whole lot of trouble. So that's why I say learn appropriate French, use appropriate French, but do know French slang.